All right. Well, um, all you technical geniuses, those of you who are not, we're gonna put on the anointing. We just say God's not giving you a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. You're not gonna be afraid of the technical stuff. Susan and I are not tech people, and uh, you know, we've learned how to do it. It's not that complicated, actually. So Sue, you need to start us right off. You have a slideshow and everything.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We do have a brief summary of how to facilitate a session on on this Zoom line, and the fact of the matter is it's very easy. And so I've got a little bit of a slideshow to show you to help us first of all orient, and then we can go into questions. So let me just share my screen here for a moment, and we can get started. Um, this is about I'm going to go through several things in hosting a call on Zoom, and I hope that it'll help you put at ease to pick up the line and give you some tidbits on how we can make things smooth when we do presentations. So the first thing I'd like to cover is how to claim host when you come on into the line. And first of all, you just join the meeting. Some of you have already done that. But then you can go over to the participants. You know how to get to the participants, right? The little slide that thing if you, at the bottom of your scroll, if you click participants like this, um, you'll get a pop-up to the side. You can go down here to claim host, and the key to put in there is 911 911. Click OK, and you're the host. The reason why you don't have to do that, you can run your session without claiming host, but if you have any disruptions, then it's hard to manage. So it's really, I would advise everybody to get used to that. It's very simple to do. You just simply join the meeting, um, and you click at the bottom of your screen. You probably have it, participants, click it, and then on the side there will be a claim host button at the part that you can choose. Um, we'll do that as a practice after we're done with this. I just want to show you sort of the basics of this. Why do we want to make hosts? Well, obviously you can manage difficulties. We have had very few difficulties or interruptions over the years, but you obviously really want to be able to be equipped if you run into that kind of a thing. The host, once you're a host, you can assign co-hosts or pass host privileges to another. And the host capabilities are to assign breakout rooms. You can manage your language interpretation. You can share your screen. The co-host assists with muting and participant management. The way we have this set up right now is that only the hosts can share their screen. So if you have something to share like music or um, a word or something like that, a picture, you're going to want to have host capabilities. The reason for that is in the past, if you have everybody share, you can get some intrusion in there that is not appropriate. So we're just limiting to hosts. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? Everybody's very quiet.
So I thought we had it set up so that co-hosts could share screen as well.
The
I'm
way
wrong
it
about
is in the back end, the co-host can't share.
Okay.
There's no option for that.
Okay.
We don't see that claim host option, Sue. I went to participants
Yeah,
and there's only invite
right. The reason
invite to meeting window. There's nothing about claiming host.
the reason being for that is that I'm host. I've already claimed it.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we'd only see it if we were coming in for the first time.
Right, right.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
And the number that you put in is 911 911. Okay. Let's see. Any questions on this? The host really has all these capabilities, and the way Fred and I usually work it is that Fred actually hosts the meeting, but I'm the host technically, so that he doesn't have to, deal with all the back end stuff. This stuff is all very easy. It's not overwhelming. When I'm hosting, I don't want to have to deal with all these other little ditzels that uh, I'm dealing with when Fred hosts. So if you are hosting a meeting verbally, I would encourage you to have a right-hand man who actually hosts the technical part. That's what that bottom line is. Let's see. The host, you can share screens as we are doing right now. And that is a host-only privilege. The reason being is that you don't want everybody on your line having the capability of just thrusting in a share screen right in the middle of something. So it's actually it's a good thing. But how many of you have tried sharing a screen before? Just kind of raise your hand. This is what the screen looks like when you share a screen. When you click this button, this will come up. This is your desktop, and what you want to do is go over and pick out what screen you want to share. And once you've picked it out, then you share, and then you get this, what I'm doing right now. You don't even see me because I'm sharing my screen. The important thing about this screen, which I must give you, is the worship part. If you have a worship video that you want to share your screen with, this is what you do. You pull up a page or on your screen that you want to share for worship. You click that so that this area is blue and highlighted. For music, you want to share the computer sound and you want to optimize the screen for sharing. Click those two links because then the worship comes off so much better. So make sure you get those two little check mark boxes checked when you want to share some worship. Any questions on that? Go ahead, Vic.
I don't know whether other people have experienced this, but the latest version of Zoom, when we updated it, the optimize button no longer works correctly. It actually blurs your screen. The video becomes less effective. So lately I've stopped using optimize. I just use the share sound button and the video is fine. If you hit the optimize button, people tell me it's too blurred. They can't see the words. They can't really see the images.
That's interesting. That may be country specific too.
Okay.
Because here that's not the case. So just negotiate it as you go forward. Be aware of that. That's a great point, Vic. Thank you.
Okay.
Barry, Brenda, questions?
No, we're okay. So for this exercise, we're on the iPad, so we don't obviously have the screen, but having obviously hosted the previous, or not hosted, but co-hosted, we're okay with the sharing, and
okay.
We'll perhaps run through a test locally to see whether that optimizing button is particular to the UK as well. So thank you for that, Vic.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Barry and Brenda, I don't know. Do you guys have a laptop or a desktop?
Oh yes, yeah. We normally use the desktop for the situation, but it's we're not on it at the moment. So yeah.
Okay, because if you're gonna do that all technical stuff, you really got to be on it. It doesn't work well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you for reminding. But yeah, I think we established that last time, fortunately, in our very deep learning curve.
It's worth noting, Barry, that if you have the optimization problem, you won't see it on your own screen. You will think everything is okay. But if you get somebody else to go on an iPad or something, you can
Yeah.
see everything there.
Okay. Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you, Vic. Thank you.
Well, we learn something new every day, right, guys?
Yes.
And perfect love casts out all fear. So we're just going to dig a deep dive. And it's actually very easy once you just get a few nuggets down. And I'm trying to hit on the nuggets today. And
I have a question.
yes, sure.
If you do your share screen for singing, like we do for the women, is it possible to mute yourself when you're sharing your screen?
Yeah. Yeah. You do it up at the top. There's a bar at the top of your screen. I'm looking at it right now with the microphone icon, and you just mute yourself. I'll mute myself, and you won't, I don't think you'll be able to.
Yeah, muting is not only possible, but it's desirable because
Yes.
you might have some background sound
Yeah.
that would interrupt the music video.
So where exactly is that on the top? Because I was trying to mute the normal way, but so where is the option when you're muting for share screen? Is it at on the left?
It's at the very top. What happens is there's a bar that pops up on my computer at the very
Okay.
top. And at the very left-hand edge of it, there's a microphone. It says mute.
So that's on the top of the screen, on the left side of the screen?
Yeah, it's just a small bar.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Very helpful.
Okay.
Sue,
yeah.
Sue,
Yes.
it's Karen. I'm sorry, I'm out in my car. I couldn't get home in time. I just wanted to introduce Elizabeth, who just spoke. She's going to be helping co-host Roberta's sessions on the Wednesday once a month about abortion. So Elizabeth's really helping with our women's ministry at KLH Carmel. I just wanted to introduce everybody to her. So I asked her to come on and help us.
High fives to you guys. Thank you so much. We're thrilled that we're going to be doing that. That's awesome. Awesome.
Sue,
Okay.
this is Mary. I was sharing my video, I'm sorry, my music the other week, and I muted myself, but it muted my music as well. So I was sharing a worship song from my computer. And so when I muted myself, it also muted my music.
You
So
probably missed selecting use or share computer sound.
I had that plus the optimize.
You know,
because
that happened to me just the other day. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But what I did was finally, I went over to the little, do you see my pointer here?
Yeah.
To this mute thing. And, or let's see, it was this thing, the arrow up, and you get a bunch of things. And I went down to the bottom, it says audio settings. And what had happened is my computer had knocked the whole computer sound all the way down to nothing. And I just slid it over, and then I was able to hear. I was able to broadcast.
When I unmuted, it opened up my worship music again, though. So it wasn't, it's when I muted and then unmuted that it took away my sound. By the way, I can't share my video. It says the host stopped my video on my screen just now.
Ditto.
Well, I think that's because I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, the host, I'll get into that in a minute. Or let's go back to this slide. The host capabilities are only to share screen. We've turned off everybody being able to share screen. There's a couple of unfortunate incidents when you get larger numbers of people on. If you have anybody sharing screen, you can get some stuff that really shouldn't be shown. So that's only happened once in all the years that we've done that, but it just is annoying. So only hosts are sharing screen right now. But so if you're not the host, you won't be able to share your screen. Does that make sense? Okay.
Excuse me, Sue.
Uh-huh.
You did say that when we mute, if we want to mute our voices while sharing screen,
Mhm.
that the mute button is it on the share screen button at the top?
I get a bar pops up at the very top, and there's a mute button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that view options? Do you know?
Yes,
Is
there's quite a number of different options. You can go right to your audio settings there.
Yeah, because that happened to me as well. It didn't share.
Yeah, I would go up to
Okay.
find
Up to the top.
find your microphone and click the arrow next to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
It's I don't want to get too technical, but
No.
I hope you realize that once you start using this, in fact, I pray, Father, we're casting out all technical fear right now. That we're putting our foot in the water, and the waters are parting, and we will get to the other side of this. Don't let fear pull you back. You can always recover. If everything blows up and you blow everybody off the screen, everybody can pile right back in, and you can start right on over. But Zoom has made this all very, very easy. So basically, the bottom line is I have always click both of these in order to share a music video and or any kind of worship. And it really helps clear up the sound. So any questions, any more questions right now? Then language interpretation. I don't know. Did anybody?
Hi, Sue. This is Haejung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to just make sure because I'm not good at the technical skills. So it's the Krista and Ayon and Semna. Yeah, Semna is. I also wanted to introduce to you all. The Semna is our Turkish believer in Izmir, Turkey, and then she will be a co-host with me, the Balkan country and Turkey call. So yeah, she was participated with us sometimes during the Ramadan prayer times. Yeah, with us. Yeah, but
Sorry,
anyway, I wanted to make sure that they could understand this kind of things or not. Krista and Ayong and Semna, if you have some questions, please ask them.
Sorry, would you mind opening starting my video? I think I'm here, but I can't really start my video. I've got the sound, but not the, I can't show my face.
Oh, your face.
It said that the host stopped it, so I did turn it off myself, and then I couldn't turn it back on.
No, I haven't done anything. You should be able to. It's something with your computer.
That's exactly what happened to me as well.
Also me, Sue, as well.
Okay. This is a big learning curve. I don't know why. But let me get off of this screen in just a minute. And
maybe it's because you're bringing in the pictures and the.
It may be because I'm sharing a screen.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, we learn something new every day. Let me tell you one thing about Zoom. It's a tremendous technological advance for all of us. But they have some help in the back end, and there's helpful articles. But when it gets down to nuances like this, it's live and learn. So this language interpretation, I'm giving you some nuggets of just having navigated that now. And so let's see what happens when I get off the stop share here in just a minute, and we'll all learn something new. Okay. So can you see my screen though, the language interpretation? Everybody, you can see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This is what happened. We have put on the capabilities for language interpretation. That's a separate, it's a whole separate setup for Zoom. So this line itself is meant for international communication. You can set up your language interpretation. And that icon is like this little globe here at the base of your screen where all the other controls are. That's where you find it. That's where your first go is for interpretation. And remember, hosts only can set this up. And when you click the globe icon, this is what appears. You get a list of different languages, and these drop downs have more languages you can choose from. But these were the ones that we most frequently used over the last 21 days. And what happens is the host designates an interpreter. Is, say if somebody's on here to interpret for German, I would go up here, click this, a drop down would happen, and I would just choose the person's name who's going to be interpret, and then I go on to the next language. Once they're all established, I click start. What happens when you click start? Well, the person that's interpreting, their voices become mute, even with the icon, the microphone icon on. It's very important that those who are interpreting keep their microphone on, but they're silenced to the rest of us. The only people that can hear them are the people who click the language as part of the participant community. So once these are assigned, you've got to have somebody in the audience click that's their language of preference. Otherwise, those who are interpreting, they will sound like me because I'm not muted. You can still hear them talking. That's because somebody has not chosen that language yet. So if you're hosting, please have somebody say, I'm a Spanish interpreter. I've just been set up as the interpreter, and you're hosting and you're still hearing me. What you say is, please, whoever needs Spanish interpretation, please go to your globe icon and choose Spanish for your language. Once somebody chooses that, I just said, I will look like that and nobody will be able to hear me. You'll see lips moving, but you won't be able to hear. Is that clear?
Yes.
So you can have the language all set up, the interpreter all set up, but until your audience chooses them, it won't click in. The whole system won't click in. That's the biggest lesson we learned in the language interpretation. It's very easy. When you get this pop-up screen, if you click one of these people, you'll get the whole list of everybody here, and you just go down, click the person who's going to interpret, and they're on. They're getting set into place. Any questions on that?
Yes. Is this an option that's available to any Zoom host in a Zoom setting, or is this something extra that your group has set up and paid for?
It's extra, and we paid for it. It's an inexpensive ad, but we're sewing it into the nations because I believe it's critical in this hour for us to.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So on the other.
And you, do you have this add-on just for this very Zoom line?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not on for everyone. It's significantly more expensive every month, but that's okay. We're we really feel like God's going to supply, and it's much more important that we build up this communication and the relational infrastructure for what we see coming down the pike.
So if there is more national watches coming on with a majority of non-English speakers, this would be the preferred line.
It may be. It depends upon, like, the German watch uses a regular line.
Yeah, but the German watch, they don't have it's in German, right?
Yeah.
They don't translate. But I was thinking now of maybe Korea or the Assyrian watch or yeah.
Right now,
Let's say Central Asia, where the majority isn't English speaking, or at least English praying.
for right now, the national watches, we would urge use just a regular line, as most of them are speaking one language. So this I'm upholding. Well, I'll go into that in just a minute. The vision behind this and what we're gonna be calling it going forward. Fred, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, not really, not on the technical end.
Yeah,
So
I'll hang on
may
to
I
that.
ask you something?
Sure.
As you're sharing your screen, I can see it from afar, but I cannot read anything. It's blurred. Is that normal?
That's the optimization problem I was talking about, Sue.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
The only way is to switch off the video optimization, leave the sound on, but take the video off.
I'm not even monkeying with that and sharing this screen.
Yeah, you'd have to come out of share screen.
Let me go out and come back in again. Okay, let's see if that.
Yeah.
We'll all learn something.
Factor to original size.
Yeah, let me try that. Let's see.
No, like on my client, I changed the zoom factor on original size.
Is that any better? Is it better? Oh.
Yes.
We can
Yes,
see that.
much better, much better. Thank you.
That's amazing. Well, thank you, Jesus. Maybe they fixed something.
And also I see where if you have a touch screen that you can pinch out the screen to make it larger.
Yeah, are you using an iPad?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I can't do that.
No, if you have a touch screen, you can make it larger.
Benjamin, did you have something?
Yes, I had a question. When you have several translators, do you have to set them all at once, or can you change them later?
Both. I prefer putting them all at once because it's a little bit on the tricky side. You can, once you've set up an interpreter and started it, you can always go back and click the globe icon here, right here. And at the bottom, it'll say manage interpreters. Click that and you can add an interpreter on. I found though at one point it knocked everybody off and I had to redo the whole thing. So it's a live and learn, but I think you can do it. I've done it both ways. So, and again, that's where you don't panic. You just figure it out and you have to start over. You just do what I just did.
I have a question. When I am interpreting, I have this thing pop up that says it has a choice, Russian or English, and I have to pick Russian. That wasn't mentioned. Like if you are an interpreter, you have to accept your, the invitation to go there in the Russian channel, for example. But I was able to switch back to the English channel. Well, I call them channels. And Ksyusha, when she was interpreting, she couldn't do that. She said, once I was in the Russian, I couldn't go back to English. And in our case, it was the case that she needed to interpret. And later she needed to speak herself in English to everyone. So do you know anything about that? How can an interpreter go back to English if you need to speak on the same call? You know what I mean?
You'd have to get out of your interpretation mode.
Well, I was able to go back to English, and I was doing that on other calls, not this, not the Global Watch.
As
like
an
I could go to
interpreter?
Russian or English.
As an interpreter?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say to that, except that if you're an interpreter, you will be silenced for the rest of the group. And what you do as a host then is you take them out of interpreting and they can speak into the whole community.
So it has to be the host to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was set up in a different way with the other group.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It is, like I said, it's a live and learn, but it's so, honestly, I hope I'm trying to relay the fact that it's very easy. You just have to figure out these innuendos a little bit. You just basically click interpretation, put your names in, start, and you're off and running, as long as somebody chooses that language.
Thank you.
So this is what happens on your screen as a participant. You click this and, whoops, I'm sorry. You click the globe icon and what is available pops up and you just choose what you want. Now, I've already gone through this stuff. The interpreter always keeps your audio on, otherwise your people aren't going to be able to hear you. You will be silenced for the rest of us. But all those who are listening to your interpretation, they mute themselves. Okay? Are you good? We can do some practical steps afterwards and try this out a little bit so you get a hands-on feel. And then finally, breakout rooms. There's a brief little video I'm going to just show you about breakout rooms. They are as easy as pie. And you click the breakout room icon at the bottom of your screen and you choose how many breakout rooms. We usually had about 20 breakout rooms on these calls this past few weeks with about 6 to 7 participants. More than 10 participants per room is too many. It diminishes participation. The one caveat that I would have to say is that when we had interpretation, I tried to get all those who were needing German translation or needing Spanish translation into one room. And you can easily manage that once you get used to these breakout rooms. So let me just show you this video and then we can go back and cover or answer questions and do some more.
Hey everyone, Farah from Zoom here. On this brief video, we're going to show you how you can leverage our breakout room feature to take a large meeting or virtual classroom and split it up into smaller groups or sessions. You'll see that I have already enabled the breakout room feature, which you can find in your settings along the bottom.
Oops, sorry. I'm trying to widen the screen. Can you see this okay?
Hey everyone, Farah from Zoom here. On this brief video, we're going to show you how you can leverage our breakout room feature to take a large meeting or virtual classroom and split it up into smaller groups or sessions. You'll see that I have already enabled the breakout room feature, which you can find in your settings along the bottom. And that breakout room button will actually be right here. This is a button that only your hosts or co-hosts will be able to see. And right now we don't have a co-host in the session. If I manage my participants, I can hover over Catherine, for example, to make her a co-host. So she'll see this button now as well. When we're ready to split the group into smaller sessions, I can easily click this button to get a pop-up window asking me how many rooms I'd like to assign out and how many participants per room. For this example, it's recommending, since there are 6 people, we can split it up into 2 rooms. I can do this automatically or manually. So if we click on the automatic button, it'll generate those breakout rooms for us. Certainly if there's anyone I want to swap out, maybe I want to move Michael to the other room, I can exchange him for a different participant. Once I'm ready to open all rooms, I'll click this open all rooms button and our participants will be able to join the sessions that we've created for them. So we'll slowly see those people join. One thing that's really important to note is that as a host or a co-host, you can actually hop between the different rooms to talk to the participants. You can see here I have the join button. Now everybody's left to go to the rooms. I can broadcast a message to everybody and say, wrapping up in 1 minute. And this will broadcast the message. And then I can close the rooms, which gives them a 1-minute timer to rejoin our session. We'll give everybody a second to rejoin, and I'll show you one or two additional features with breakout rooms. There we go. We can kind of see everybody kind of popping back in. Now everybody's rejoined the main session. You'll see that I have the opportunity to reopen these rooms again, which is really great. If you have a very long session or a very long virtual class, you can split into these virtual smaller groups as often as you'd like. And the additional options here will allow you to automatically close breakout rooms after a specified amount of time. You can also change the countdown timer to be 30 seconds or 2 minutes if you like. I'll show you a setting where you can also pre-assign folks to be in your breakout room before the classroom starts. You'll want to navigate over to the class that's already been created in your Zoom portal. Under the Meetings tab, you can find your meeting. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, you'll see if we open this to re-edit it, I have the opportunity to pre-assign a breakout room here. And I can create the rooms and upload a CSV with all of my participants in advance so that their names are already populated in the room when I start the session. That's basically how you can run breakout rooms. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions, please visit us at support.zoom.us. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
So that is a little brief on the breakout rooms. They're super easy to do. You just click a few buttons and figure out how many rooms you need for, you know, 7 participants per room. And I found it easy, finally figured out how to get everybody, like the people needing interpretation into one room. You can do that very easily. You just have to fiddle around with this program here. Anyway.
Susan, have you ever pre-assigned small group leaders to the breakout rooms, or was it up to the people to organize themselves?
Actually, no, I did not. It's too complicated, and for one thing, we're only an hour, and if there were different people on every time, so it's just a little bit too hard. And when we get further along, we may want to do that, and it's certainly, you can know that that's a possibility. But I found that it was easier just to they pre-select it, and then just for me the biggest deal was getting the language people into the same room. So and that once I got used to it and figured out who needed what, that got easier as well.
Yeah, because I wondered that in every breakout session, someone in our group would immediately hop on the facilitator's role, moderating or inviting other people in. So that worked really well, and I was wondering if that was orchestrated by you or by the Holy Spirit.
Well, let's just thank God for that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Just one small thing, like when I did the small groups for the Global Watch gathering, I figured out it was much faster to set up the facilitators when I first had the facilitators in the names. So I changed the names of facilitators, saying an asterisk in the front or something to identify them, and saying, oh, this is group 1, this is group 2, and so on. And then I could swap them into the groups pretty quickly afterwards.
Yeah.
This way it was like 1 minute or 2, but it's still, because you don't know who's coming, it's always difficult.
Yeah, and that was a little bit more organized way of doing it. But thank you, Benjamin, for doing that. For the generalists, for all of us, generally just auto populate it and then rearrange a few of them to get the language situation straightened out. That's the only way I could manage like 20 rooms. To put people in pre-designated things, it would just be too hard. And just trust God, and He knows what He's doing.
Yes, Sue, I think one of the things that on a practical way that we're going to need to do is that the first time that somebody is hosting, doing the technical stuff, you and I are going to need to just be there with them and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
mentor them through that so that they're not trying to figure out all this stuff on their own at the last minute. And once you've done it once, as soon as you've done it once, then you should be confident to be able to keep doing it. But we'll have to. There just needs to be a mentoring session. Where is this button? Where is that? And once you do it, then you've got it down. So I think we're just realistically, Sue, we're just going to need to do that.
I hope, did this,
I have a
are there
question.
any more questions? There's a couple of questions.
Yes, I have a question. I have a question. Yeah.
Sure.
Are you able to turn our videos on now? Because I can't open it. I keep getting a message
Really?
that it won't let me open the video.
Me too.
It
Yeah,
says,
Sue, if you'll make me co-host, I want to try something.
Me too.
I can fix it.
it says that the host has stopped the videos from opening. Those of us that didn't start that way. But that's not what I wanted to say, actually. I just wanted
it is on the back end. On the back end, it's only hosts that can share the screen. I think co-hosts too.
I'm not talking about sharing screen. I'm talking about being able to open my own video so you can see me.
Try it now.
Oh,
what did you just do, Peter?
I'm getting a notice that says unable to start video because the host has stopped it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same for me. My video was working,
Yeah.
but I've tried that. I get exactly the same message.
Me also, yeah.
Sue,
What?
if you go to security,
Yeah.
there's
I've
an
got the
option
same.
for allowing participants to share their screen.
Where is it?
Security.
It's checked to share screen.
Yeah, I just turned it on, but people are saying they still can't for some reason.
Huh.
No. The thing, start video is not checked.
Oh, that's right. It should be start video, not share screen. I had the wrong one.
Now can you?
Yes, we can. Now we are back.
Can you see? Where's everybody?
Mine is not working.
Finally, it's working.
Most everybody's on here.
Yeah, mine's working now as well.
Okay. Well, we learned something. We learned a lot from each other today. What I did was at the bottom of your screen, there's a security thing. And there's a number of things you can choose, including start video. So here you're all back. Everybody have, when we facilitate a call on Zoom, Fred is usually a co-host and I'm the host behind the scenes to manipulate a lot of this other stuff. So it's best if you have somebody else there managing just the little nuances. It makes it a whole lot more comfortable facilitating a call.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm assuming that you leave it up to each of us who are moderating or hosting a call to decide if we want to do breakout rooms or not. We don't have to do them, correct?
Mm-mm.
Okay, fine. Are you going to be dealing with, or maybe you did this at the beginning, maybe I missed the first 5 minutes, how for the host to mute participants on entry?
It's already set up on the back end. Everybody's muted on entry.
Oh, it is. Okay. So, but if they need to remute, like let's say everybody opens up and then you want to mute them again, is that something the host needs to know how to do?
Yeah, if you let's see, as a host or a co-host, if you have your participants, you click participants so you see who's on the left side of on my right side of the screen, there a pop-up sort of comes out, and click chat. When you click chat, there's a bar and you can mute all right there as a host or a co-host. That's how, when we start getting those clapping and everybody doing, agreeing with something, and you've come to the end of it, you can just mute everybody. And it sort of stops the whole thing and you can go on with your session. But
that only appears if you're designated as a host or co-host, because I don't see it right now.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Got it. Okay. Okay, fine.
So can I just ask something? I noticed on some of the calls you had, it was like a little pin on certain people's profiles. I assume that was to keep them on the main kind of screen. Why were you pinning people? Was that because they were leading the meeting? It seemed you were just helping with the tech, but there was like you pinned them. I don't know if you know what I'm speaking about.
They weren't co-hosts?
Yeah, I don't know that maybe they were, but it was like like a little tack or that you stick on something like on a cork, or they had like next to their mute thing a little pin, like they were linked with something else on the screen. I don't know where that came from.
It's called Spotlight.
Okay.
Peter, can you explain that?
Yeah, so if you spotlight someone, say that you've got a presenter and you don't want someone like joining the call and having noise in the background or whatever that would interrupt their video, you can spotlight their video and they will always stay in the foreground enlarged. And you can actually spotlight multiple people. So if you're doing kind of an interview, you could spotlight 2 people and they'd be side by side, or 3 or 4. So it works. It's a good tool for when you're doing any kind of a webinar.
Why don't you do it just so we can see?
Okay. I think Mary should be one of the people.
Now, does it have to be on gallery? Okay, I see it.
And then let's put Sue side by side with you.
Where do you choose that?
Adding spotlight, you have to be a host or a co-host.
Okay.
And it's you can go to the individual video and pull down their menu to enable the spotlight. Now, if I take everybody off of spotlight, it's called remove spotlight, then I believe that people will be left in the speaker view. So like for me right now, Fred is still the enlarged video. So you have to actually go back up into the upper right-hand corner and change your view back to gallery view if you want to see everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's really easy. Oh boy, you'd have to be a co-host to see that, but thank you, Peter, for explaining that.
Okay, once again, where is it in the bar downstairs that to click the spotlight?
It's on individual videos. So there's a little menu in the upper right-hand corner when you hover over a person's video. And as a participant, you can choose chat. Well, there's additional options for the host and co-host, and one of those is spotlight.
You can do something similar as a participant, Ulrika. It's called pin. If you click on the video, you'll see chat or pin.
Right, so you can control your own screen that way. The host and co-host controls it for everybody and for the recording.
Well, this has been very helpful. Thank you, guys. Benjamin, you've got your hand up.
I forgot it.
What?
I had it up earlier and I forgot to take it down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sue, I have a question.
Sure.
Sue,
Uh-huh.
I've never been a host, so I don't have this specific picture, but usually I'm using my tablet, not laptop computer. So just, being a host and then doing all this interpretation thing, and can you do it like with the tablet as well?
You can, but honestly, I find it very, very difficult, and it's better on a computer screen. And I can't guide you with the iPad, but I can tell you this. If you go into the zoom.us or your Zoom website, there, go to support, and there's a lot of information there on how to do that with an iPad or a phone. When you're facilitating a call, I can tell you it's just so much easier using a screen.
Thank you.
We've got a lot. There we go. Any other questions? You guys, thank you for your time today. Any other questions? Like I said, we've maximized this particular line to facilitate multiple languages, and where we're headed in this is that the global upper room, that term, is really something that we worked with Daniel Lim and IHOP, and I want to respect that they birthed that terminology. So we're going to call this the Global Watch International Room. When IHOP and people that we're beginning to relate to flip the switch and say we need to do an upper room deal, that's what that will mean. We will go to participate in the global upper room that way. But I feel like in order, we have talked about this and sensed that it would be just much more respectful not to basically submarine and just designate this as the Global Watch International Room. And it's going to be where we, from our individual different nations or even regional expressions of the watch, can come into and present our nations to the nations and be praying more from an international perspective. Does that make sense? There are new watches forming as we speak, and we can pray into that. They're not yet on the scene, but they're exciting. One is a judicial watch with lawyers praying for the judicial system, and we're seeing that there's some desperate need to pray for that in our nation anyway. There are other expressions emerging as well. Isaiah 19 for the Global International Room is one of the things we're working on right now. I think that will be an important one. I'm so thankful for the Israel Watch being there. We've got to have those rocks centered. Israel and Isaiah 19 is just very powerful and important. Macedonia, Turkey and Macedonia coming up. So you're getting the picture. Africa, of course, Sheldon. So we just, I'm really excited about it. I do want to say that, well, Fred and Sue are all they're just doing this virtual thing. No, we have a boots on the ground as well. We're working, we all need our boots on the ground engagement with people around us. This is a call that I believe God is forming in the nations for such a time as this, to prepare us and help us gain strength from one another for what's ahead. It's really a time to lock shields, not only in our local communities, but from that to our nations, to the international realm. And this global international room is going to be a place where we can bring our worship, bring our issues before the Lord together. So there's all kinds of possibilities opening up with this, and I'm praying for a creative strategy. I'm loosing a creative strategy over all of us. This is we're in a formative stage. The basic foundations for what we're doing really goes back to our core values. That's who we are. It's very simple. If you haven't had a chance to look at core values, look at them. But it's held this group in a healthy place for some time, and I'm so thankful for all that God has done in bringing us together.
That's a question about the setting up of the individual watches versus the global watch. Do you prefer for new emerging watches like national watches to do that still via the Global Watch website that people could register, or using Global Watch Zoom lines, so that yeah, it's somehow orchestrated, so we get to know about the participants' contact details.
Yes.
And so forth.
Like the USA Watch, we even during the 21 days, we kept the USA Watch going, even though many of them were on the line. So the international room is an adjunct to your local expression. Let's put it that way. Does that make sense? Believe me, I don't know if I just put out a word this week on in reviewing the 21 days, but I believe we're in a set time, and it's going to be exciting times ahead. And this expression will help us all, I think, navigate what's coming.
Okay, so Sue, we're at the end of the hour. So is there something that you want to announce before we close?
Can I say
Karen,
something?
question? Go ahead.
I just want to very briefly introduce to everybody 3 people that are going to be facilitating these Israel Watches on the Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And I just wanted to present.
You froze, Karen. You froze. Go ahead.
Oh, I froze. Okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, my internet's really unstable. Susan Hagee is going to be once a month on a Wednesday. She has a ministry to Holocaust survivors in Akko, right outside Haifa, part of our congregation. And she's been doing this for many, many years and has an incredible intercessory burden and understanding of the Holocaust survivors in Israel. So we're going to have her hosting. She'll be bringing on various people also to bring the global community into being able to pray for the Holocaust survivors that are actually dying off 50% every year. So
Wow.
that's Susan is. Roberta, can you, Roberta has been a pro-life counselor in Israel for the last 10 years, and Laura's used her to save 200 babies, and she's now really praying for their salvation, and has an intercessory calling. And so she's going to be leading another one of the Wednesdays. And Josie Silver, many of you know Josie. Josie and I co-host together our 2 o'clock watch on Carmel. And so we're going to be doing that together once a month. And Avi and Chaya will have another one. But I just wanted you to see their faces.
Karen, thank you so much. Wow, that's terrific. Awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah.
I am very thankful that we have an abortion focused set that will be pleasing to the Lord, for sure.
Yes.
It's a huge international issue, by the way.
All right, Sue, I think we're at the end of the hour. We're done. I feel like, half of me feels like we should take communion, but that's probably not that kind of a meeting. So let's not do that today.
And when?
Please let me know that this has encouraged you. There's no fear in this room, right? It's all gone out the window. Yeah, we're ready to take the plunge.
Yeah, we're good.
So the upcoming times are for the Shabbat on Friday, right?
Shabbat on Friday, yes. 5 o'clock. Uli, do you want to say anything about that?
Oh, stay tuned, be surprised, get your elements ready for Friday Shabbat, and let's see on Friday.
Okay.
And
then just Monday, 6 a.m.
It'll be 7 a.m. our time, 5 p.m. Jerusalem time.
6 a.m. Jerusalem. Monday is the next after Shabbat, right?
I'm working on that. Actually, this is exciting, you guys. Oh my goodness.
So we're at the end of the hour. You can't go into some whole new thing.
No, this is just a quick announcement, but we've got a really special opening with the healing rooms in Santa Maria. They're internationally known for healing, and I feel like that honors what God is about to do in releasing healing over the nations. And so that session, the opening session, is going to be with Rick and Laurie Taylor from the healing rooms in Santa Maria. And they've got a little worship. Everybody here in California has been in a shutdown, so it's not. But they carry a mantle for healing. Vic, your question?
Just quickly to let you know that we still can't access the Google Calendar.
Okay. I can't either. I was gonna say.
Me too.
We will work on that.
Okay.
I promise.
I opened the calendar and there's nothing there, just like